Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and I wanted to talk about, surrendering to consciousness fully, allowing yourself to give your life to Source, to allow yourself to align to Source, and align your energy to what you want to project out into this awareness. Allow for receptivity, allow yourself to heal, allow yourself to release, but also allow yourself to project what you really want into this creation. So when we surrender to conscious fully, we're letting go of our fears, we're letting go of our attachments. We're letting go of everything that is false, that is not in alignment with what we want to bring in this creation. So when we're releasing that false identity and we're releasing all of the attachments and the illusions that we're assuming ourselves to be, we're allowing ourselves to generate a belief system and emotions and thoughts and sense perceptions that are more directly correlated to the truth of what we want to reinforce in this creation. So when we allow ourselves to really surrender, we're allowing ourselves to be more open. We're allowing ourselves to become a spiritual mass. We're allowing ourselves to encompass that light and to encompass the new energies that are coming in. When we allow ourselves every single day to surrender, we're giving ourselves a reset button. We're recharging the batteries. We're finding that symmetry within our reality, and we're trying to fine-tune our gifts so that it really is in alignment and it's for the greater good of humanity. So every time that we surrender, we're grounding back into our energies. We're calling our energy back, but we're also allowing ourselves to see that the resistance or the lack of awareness or healing or a sense of being here and aware and alive, and it allows us to not be alone in seeing ourselves as a creator, seeing ourselves as God, seeing us as an extension of God, and seeing us as a human individuation of creation, which is God manifested in the human form, reflecting that image in every single thing that we do. And when we allow ourselves to reflect that image in every single thing that we do, we allow ourselves to become an electromagnetic kinetic source energy field. We allow ourselves to be connected to our spiritual origination. It allows us to be connected to all the frequencies and energetic signatures that we're allowing ourselves to surrender to. Surrendering is an act of making a different decision. It's an act of healing. It's an action that you've been afraid to do. And sometimes it's just pointing you in the right direction and where Source wants to guide you. So every time that you surrender, every time that you are of service, or you're having a moment of healing, or you're having a moment of clarity, or maybe an epiphany of what you should do within your life, you are surrendering fully and understanding fully God in this moment. So you're surrendering and having receptivity, and you are listening, you're open, you're not closed in, you're allowing yourself to be aligned to the energy that you want to become in this moment. So when you do this, you're aligning to the energies that want to become you. So you're reflecting that in the image of God, in the expansion, in the expression of Source, but allowing yourself to be the projection of everything that you want to appear within your awareness. So we're allowing ourselves to change the narrative of the illusion. We're allowing ourselves to grow with the illusion, but we're allowing ourselves to change the illusion in what we're experiencing by surrendering, by understanding that this object, sense perception based reality isn't what we think that it is. So we're actually getting an actual dose of reality, of enlightenment, of truth, of divinity, of the light that's within our souls, but also the light that we're channeling within our bodies. So it's when our mind-body-spirit complex is fully aligned and connected to all of our chakras, but also aligning the light and the dark energies, but also allowing yourself to have imagination and creativity in that. So surrendering to God is just taking the next step to reach a new point in your journey, to reach the next stage. The spiritual awakening happens in phases and stages. Sometimes it happens very quickly. Sometimes it happens with time. Even though we're in the absence of time, we have to blend the third dimensional way of living with the non-physical way of living. And we're going to be doing some healing energy at the end of this live to help you surrender more to God, but also aligning your energies with your energetic signatures and your prophetic visions. So one of the things my guides and higher self were wanting me to do with this live was the very fact that some people feel alone in their own skin. Some people don't feel like being here. Some people don't know what they're supposed to channel. And we all want validation in some way, but it's not an egoic validation, but it's just the signs and the confirmations and the miracles that are being set into motion to allow us that there's an ongoing progression in our reality, in what we're channeling, in the divinity that is inside of us, leading by our heart's desire, but also allowing our desires to be pure, our inspirations to be pure, everything that we're trying to channel into this universe to be of a sense of purity. So it's not that you're longing or being patient for something, it just hasn't happened yet. So understanding is that we are here for a reason, we're here to exist. Existence has a reason to be here. So the existence of light is how everything is appeared and created and manifested. So being able to share, being able to apply yourself in the ability of really showcasing who you are in this moment and showing up to your life as if you're meant to be there. So when we do this in life and we surrender and we open up to God's transcendence, it means that we go through something I call a gateway or a portal, which allows us to open many doors that are on our path. And these doors sometimes lead to a lot of reflections, a lot of lessons, a lot of catalysts, but those catalysts are not challengers, they're not obstacles. So we're losing the attachment of the description of seeing everything as a problem, but also that it's lacking a resolution. So we are the resolution that we're seeking for. We are the resolve, we are the energy, and we are what is coming into balance. So when you have been experiencing your life in a specific way and suddenly the pattern shifts, or suddenly you shift, or suddenly you just change within your personality, or the way that you think, or the way that you emote, the way that you choose your decisions, that means that you've severed a tie to a specific timeline that you've changed within your life. You've lost the sense of this emotion that was tied to the past. It was tied to the past, and then you severed it. And sometimes it's kind of like a thought process and seeing that your own thoughts, you can choose your own thoughts. So it's kind of the ability to have discernment, to see and knowing that there has been a real rooted change because you have been spreading seeds, non-physically or physically. So surrendering to God is not surrendering to a big, scary, fearful being. It's losing the fear of seeing God as an object, as a person, as a place, as a thing, but seeing it as the omnipresence of creation. Is seeing that it's not a big man in the sky, it's not a big woman in the sky, it's not fear, it's not trying so hard, it's not suffering. That's all part of the journey, but that's not who God is. But that's how God molds us into becoming the person that we are, like the potter with the clay. So a lot of us are morphing and having a metamorphosis and clearing so many past lifetimes, but also clearing emotionally. And to surrender more to God means that you are really resonating in God's love, in the Shekinah glory, and meaning that you are having allowance within yourself so that you can hear Source's voice very clearly, hearing the echoes and the signals that are in the ethers of the universe, meaning that you are connected. But the one thing that we never talk about, we don't see ourselves as a realm, we don't see ourselves as energy, we always see ourselves as a physical object-based being. But now, once we lose that ideology, we have the ability in this physical moment to astral project exactly what we want, meaning that our Akashic record can be a living reinforcement of who we are. The guided meditation that you did 10 minutes ago, or maybe in the morning, no matter where you're at, it could be nighttime, but the guided meditation does not have to stop. That's the kicker about this, is that the guided meditation that you're living is guiding you to be meditative, but to be intuitive, but also to allow you to resonate and maintain that enlightened awareness by surrendering every single day. Surrendering is the hardest thing because you have to not make it hard. I know that sounds like me playing with an oxymoron, but surrendering isn't hard, resistance is hard, fighting yourself is hard, arguing against Source is very hard. So we don't have to make it as hard as it has to be. But if we make it crystal clear and we vocalize really what we want. And we wake up in the morning with a sense of victory, but we also wake up in the morning with a sense of intention. Sometimes it's projecting exactly what you want and seeing yourself as God, manifesting those appearances and illusions and those configurations of energy and being connected to every parallel reality that you are, and severing all the times to the parallel realities and the timelines that you are, that you're trying to become in that moment. So sometimes it's just being done with it. When you're done with not having the success or the manifestations or the relationships in your life, that's when you have a clear-cut understanding that surrendering is the answer. Is how much can I receive? How much can I emulate source? How much can I heal within myself? How much can I lose the disassociation of perceptions? The perceptions that limit you. Everything that limits you is an excuse of lack. It's a perceived lack and a benefit that we are supposed to be suffering and lacking of something. So we just need to stop caring about, like this person said, stuff, worry, anxiety, fear, your job, your boss. It doesn't matter. We think that it matters. We think that it has a strong bearing over how we feel and how we project and how we are as a human species. But it actually means that when we get fed up with something, that's when you walk away from it and you find a new life. So one of the things that we do on the path is that we are delivered from that dark night of the soul, and we are gifted a new life. We are gifted a new anointing. We are gifted a newfound sense of understanding. That means that we have breached a gateway and a portal into our destiny. So it's as living your life as if the doors of heaven are laid at your feet, living your life in that way. And seeing that if we find the inseparability of knowing that we are always in between heaven and hell, then what are we going to choose? We want to choose heaven. We want to choose heaven. Can be now. Heaven can be your happy place. Heaven can be your meditative state. And heaven could be the very thing that you're trying to achieve at this moment. But it's not trying to achieve it, but it's knowing that it's already there. That's a blind faith, meaning that we're not based on what we see. We're not based on what we see over there. We're not based on the grass that I'm looking at. You're not even based at looking at me, but you're based on the very fact that you look inside of yourself and you see the eyes of God being reflected back to you. And we all have to withstand the nothingness of creation. If we withstand the nothingness and we become empty, then the light is able to pour in to our vessel to allow us to become really who we are. If we're able to withstand that, then we're able to connect more with Source, more with the divinity inside of ourselves. And then we stop playing the character that we assume ourselves to be. So a lot of us are playing a character still. But it's a better character than what you were playing, if that makes any sense. So we have to lose the attachments to location, to people, places, being in a position, but being positionless. So when we let go of that, we're able to free fall into our creation and not being afraid to know that the divine is going to catch us. Sometimes we have to have a little bit of a trust fall with the divine, because we have to have that sense that they will catch us and that they do have us in the palm of our hands, of their hands too. So it's kind of like we are trying to mass produce a co-creation. We are co-creators, and it takes a village to generate everybody's realities. So one person cannot do it all, not myself and not even you, but it takes all of us. That's why all that there is, or the great beyond, or that absolute reality that we're trying to attract to ourselves, meaning absolute, meaning that there is no sense of distortion or impurities or lack of an awareness of appearances or illusions that fit more into the map of deliberately creating, That's what it means to really become absolute. So it's not like, oh, if I do this, if I ground for 20 minutes, or if I meditate, then I'll be absolute. Even with your imperfections or distortions or illusions that you're still assuming, you still are perfection. You're just coming closer and closer to that divinity. But it's not putting a ceiling on how much you can receive and how much you can create and how much you can emulate from Source at this moment. It's the ability to see yourself as God in everything. And it's just your ability to smile back at God, but also to see through the eyes of Source. Allowing yourself to be that flower of life that gives its nutrients and water and fluidity and motion. So we are miraculous, we are beautiful. Sometimes we like to paint the portrait in a way that is not very beautiful, or speak the narrative that is not quite beautiful. But it's all about what we're speaking towards, how we're channeling our energy, how we're balancing our energies. But it's kind of in this moment. Do I want to surrender and be free? Or do I want to look at the very fact that I already have surrendered and I am already free? So that's kind of a way to look at that paradox, is to see that it's not about if I am free or delivered, is that I am free and delivered. That I am free to do what I want to do when I want to do it. But you have to see yourself in that light before you accept it. Acceptance is surrender. If we're not able to accept anything, then we can't surrender to what we want to bring and reinforce and become, right? So surrender is the first thing we have to do, and that's where we accept ourselves and our flaws and our imperfections and our messiest moments. Then we're able to really accept the human side and the non-physical side and blend them together, and this is what you get. You get the beauty that you are. Because we all have personality traits that are really, really beautiful, and some of them may seem not so beautiful, but you use them as your gifts. So if you are impatient, then you use impatience as a way of channeling your gifts and your divinity. If you are someone who's very obstinate, then you use a way of being obstinate as a way of your own benefit. So just because you have certain traits about your personality, or maybe you're just very, when you get focused on something, you just want to fucking do it and get it done. That could be to your greatest strength. That's how God blends personalities, emotions, thoughts, and creates them as a way of functioning. God wants you to function. God doesn't want you to not function or be disoriented. That's not a way to live, right? So that's not a way to live, but acceptance and surrender and just owning yourself and becoming that truth and just having a passion and a fire and a desire to say, fuck it, I want to surrender here and now. It's just the ability to say that, you know? There's been so many times where I was just like, you know, God, I'm fucking done with this. I'm fucking over this. I'm done. I want something else. And sometimes speaking to God like that, he listens, or she, or an extraterrestrial, however you see God is how you see God. But sometimes he sits back and he listens and he hears you like, wow, this person really means business. Just mean business. Own yourselves. You guys are beautiful and leaders and strong and empowered. And we have to separate our personal biases without allowing ourselves to not surrender. When we don't surrender, then we are Rocky Balboa-ing ourselves. So when I channel, sometimes I say weird stuff. But that's the thing, like, we can't fight ourselves. We can't run away and spiritually bypass from the surrender and the power of God. God will always rain down Thor's hammer and get you to put your feet to the carpet. That's just how Source is. A lot of people don't like the word God. I do. But I don't see it in the way that some other people see it. I see it as I am. I am because you are, and you are because I am. And I am because you are the I am. everything: love, peace, generosity, truth. God is all of those things. And no matter how you dress it, you can say consciousness, you can say Jesus, you can say this, but who created that before you even uttered the words? Think about that. So everything that you've ever seen or created or done, you've already done it. So it means that you haven't been surprised. You just had to forget so that you had self-remembrance in your space of energy. So that's the kicker. That's what kind of makes us go crazy, because we want to figure out the mystery of consciousness, of emulating source, of becoming true in our divinity and our vibration. That's the search and that's the chase. But it's not a chase like, people when they talk about hustling and like, oh, living with your, roommate on their couch for like 2 years. That's not what I'm talking about. But just every single day, you have a reason to show up. You have a reason to be of service. You have a reason to meditate. You have a reason to reach your goals and your ambitions. And it doesn't have to be a certain goal or a certain ambition. But it has to be something that delves deep inside of yourself to love, to be of service, to love people, and to nurture the divine inside of yourself every single day. And then that allows you to be true in your divinity and walking in the Spirit, emulating the truth of the Spirit. So we're going to do some healing energy. Karma doesn't miss anyone, correct? That's true. That's true. But we're going to do some healing energy to surrender to God. And also, guys, I do have a 40-minute special for $80 for readings, healings, activations for psychic readings. So feel free to take that on. And also for 1 hour, it's $132, and 2 hours, it's $232 for psychic readings. I hope everyone is doing well. And tonight, around 10 or 11, I'm going to be going live doing readings again, because I do that every night. I'm crazy. I'm a nutty person. Oh, hey. Oh, hi. Oh my goodness. There's dogs coming onto the live feed. Hey, you guys gotta go back. Oh my God, you're adorable. They're over here. They're over here. They're right here. Man, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. No, they're beautiful dogs. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful dogs. That was really sweet. That was divine timing right there. They came out of nowhere. I was like, whoa, are they gonna knock over the camera? Okay, so you never know what the universe is gonna do. So we're gonna do some healing energy. Feel free to take part, book private sessions, and hopefully the pups crash your guys' live feed too, because that was a gift right there. We are going to surrender to the holisticness of Source, tapping into that Shekinah glory, allowing yourself to recalibrate the energy, to ground back deep into Middle Mother Gaia Earth, and allowing yourselves to emulate Source in your own way and become fully conscious with God code and downloading Metatron's cube within the causal chakra, healing from Archangel Raphael, coming into the heart, receptivity, recalibration, connection to source. And Jesus is coming in, helping us with psychic protection, giving us a golden bubble around our aura. Archangels of love and light, who's willing to cleanse us of our auric field, tapping into God's source energy and the great I am, diving deep into Middle Mother Gaia Earth and grounding back into the earth. Activations are coming through, codes, frequencies, and downloads. And the Black Panther energy is helping us to clear energy of lack, of being limited, or expectations that are false, or basing everything on outcome, and helping us really encompass our vibration in the divine feminine. Also, heart activation from Archangel Sandalphon. And his gold violet flame dragons are putting a circle of flame of protection around you, helping you be more protected, and it's as if you put holy water all over yourself. And now we are going to accept the Merkaba as well. And reprogramming the DNA, reprogramming our thoughts, and reprogramming our energy. So coming back into sync and balance with who we really are as a soul entity of love and light. So now we're releasing energy and rejuvenation very quickly. The magenta dragons coming in, helping us imbibe all the 12 dimensions. The Galactic Federation of Light is coming in, helping us with authority, helping us transcend the human condition, and also helping us level up 50 levels. And now we're going to connect to the inner child and activate the third eye, helping us tap into imagination, helping us with our telepathic abilities, and helping us with clairvoyancy and being able to channel through our throat chakra, clearing the throat chakra as well, or cleansing, removing blockages. And we're going to have the Apostle Paul come in and helping us activate our galactic chakras and tapping into the angelic bloodlines, the extraterrestrial bloodlines, and the dragon bloodlines here and now. And in this moment, we're just going to surrender to Source, surrender to God, and just give your life to God in this moment. Become consciousness, to become everything, to become the manifestation of light, and become the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. Now we're quantum leaping into new parallel realities, connecting to the timelines that are most in alignment, also attracting circumstances that generate miracles into motion, and having a constant flow of manifestation and heightening our psychic abilities as well. If you're having trouble connecting, if you're having trouble meditating, if you're having trouble getting information from spirit, this healing is for you. And we're just elevating the energies here and now. Coming back into balance with who we are. And connecting ourselves to our soul tree, our soul family, and our spiritual origination. Aligning to the past lifetimes that were of a good nature. Also, this healing is for vitality and health. If you're struggling with an illness, with blindness, with any deficiencies in health, allow yourself to use this as a way of recalibrating the energies. And we're going to tap into the unicorn's energy. They allow us to be playful, the inner child, and also we're going to tap into the lion's energy. To be courageous, to be bold, and to just emulate the truth. And we're going to connect to dog's energy because they are a symbol of loyalty, of royalty, of respect, and community and family life. And connecting to the horses because when a horse runs in a pasture, that is the definition of freedom. That is the definition of how we're free and how we are fearless. And connecting to autonomous knowledge, meanings that you channel from your own source. You channel from your own divinity. You channel from your own resonance. And you allow yourself to bring that resonance to wholeness, to acceptance, to reception, and to surrendering back into your divine source. And lastly, we are going to accept our higher selves, to morph with our higher self, and to embrace the non-physical with the physical way of creating. So feel as if you're walking into your higher self. Be one with God, be one with all. Be the flower of life, the manifestation of life, and allow yourself in this moment to become the oracle of love, light, and wisdom, which is the human manifestation of God, the I Am Presence, and see through the eyes of God here and now. Everyone take one last deep breath. Exhale. and so it is. So that was the healing energy for you guys. Also, if you're coming into the live feed and you haven't been here before, this is White Wolf. I appreciate you guys coming onto the live and watching the messages. Just know that I'll be going live tonight around 11 p.m. Eastern, doing readings, healings, activations. Thank you. I appreciate it. Also, you guys can book private sessions. I do have a new special for $80 for 40 minutes. And also 1 hour for 132 and 2 hours for 232. And when I go live on my readings, when I'm doing those, it's only $25 for the readings themselves. So if you're coming on, I'm glad that you guys got the most from the healing, and I'm glad that you got the most out of what I was delivering and what Spirit was channeling through me. And just know that I don't say anything that comes from my filter. It's always coming from the Divine's filter. And that was one of the things that my guides wanted me to close with this live, was the very fact when you're channeling, sometimes you might say weird stuff. Sometimes you might say stuff that's super woo-woo. You might say stuff that's pushing a boundary, or you might say a cuss word. So just allow Spirit to channel through you, and just know that it's always coming from a divine source. And don't worry about how it sounds, or don't worry about how you're relaying the message. But if God is channeling through you, that's what's important. Because I feel like a lot of people, when they're starting out going live, or they're trying to, showcase themselves on social media, go with your heart always. That will always lead you in the direction of what you need to do, and that will allow you to be true and dedicated to what you're trying to bring into this universe. Because it's about what you want to bring and what you want to do with your leadership and your service and your love. And just know, just keep doing what you're doing. Just stay on the path. And also, one thing my guides were telling me before I'm about to get off here is to stay in your lane. Just know that you don't need people to bring you to a certain level. And just know that no matter what, you are always going to go in the direction Spirit wants you to go in. So if your life is changing right now, if you feel alone, or you feel confused, or maybe you're going through a lot of healing, if you didn't receive anything from this live, just know that we're all going through it. We're all going through it. We're all together, and we are all one, and we are all acceptance and receptivity. That's who we are. We are the human reflection of the image of the I Am Presence, which is the Oracle of Loveline Wisdom. The reason why I made that term a long time ago, because there's a book called The Law of One. And it talks about the one infinite creator, and I used to say that a lot of my lives, and then I was just like, it's not me. And then I thought of this phrase, the Oracle of Loveline Wisdom, because an oracle channels from its guides, its higher self, and a council that's higher above him or her to channel the energies of intuition, information, and psychic connection. So when I say the Oracle of Loveline Wisdom, I'm describing all of you. So the Oracle, because we have to learn about love. We have to learn about love for ourselves, self-remembrance, and loving others. And the wisdom helps us to have maturity, and the light allows us to have unity and balance, which allows us to combine those energies of being an oracle so that we're able to be a demonstration of God's reflection. So that's what I'm going to finish with. So, and also, I don't know if you guys know, Florida is the most bipolar place for weather, and I've lived in Florida for a very long time. But it's like raining, it's like sunny, now it's cloudy. It's fucking crazy. So I hope you guys stay warm. I hope you guys enjoy the holidays too. And don't forget, I do have a private session special, 40 minutes for $80, 1 hour for 132. Also 11 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be going live doing readings. And also, if you want to contact me, just text me on my TikTok and email me, whitewolftheoracle on YouTube and Facebook. Also Instagram, whitewolf4741. Any way that you can contact me, I will contact you. So thank you guys. God bless. Namaste. And this is White Wolf signing off, and so it is.